Good.
May I ask, how do you guys feel about Donald J. Trump?
You don't want to know.
What are you saying? What's up, everybody? It's Pence here. We're all having a walk. I'm having a walk with
General Mattis. This is Trump Nation. Welcome.
Trump Nation. Trump Nation. Always Trump Nation.
Just doing a daily vlog out here, St. Pete. A little bit of a chilly day.
Oh, it's cold as hell.
Kind of windy.
Yeah.
But we figured we'd come visit our buddy Donald Trump, newly elected president, and we're going to discuss some upcoming issues.
Nice.
Here he is right now.
Oh.
Donald.
Oh,
How you doing, buddy?
how you doing, General?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Got Senator Pence here.
Nice
A
to
little
meet
bit
you.
of an awkward handshake. Gloss over that.
Nice little awkward
What do you
handshake.
got? What do you find gentlemen up today?
We just want to talk about some stuff.
How you doing, man? Donald Trump here.
We just wanted to talk about some stuff that people would probably be worried about. They'll be like, oh, is Trump going to handle some of these things? So let's talk about it.
So, what is the first thing on your agenda?
You know, let's talk about unemployment.
The first thing on our list is going to be unemployment.
Hello, man. Very good. Today, you and your baby.
All right.
So, employment.
How do you want to handle unemployment and the growing rates of unemployment in our country?
So, like illegal immigrants unemployment, or just unemployment?
Just unemployment in general.
Oh, okay.
And how does it affect our economy? Does it make it healthier at all, or?
Well, I don't believe that it makes it healthier at all because, you know, there's people in this country that are using our resources and using everything that we produce, but they're not really working or producing labor for us. You know, they're not
Giving back is what you're trying to say.
They're not giving back to the
Okay, so they're using what we have, but they're not feeding money back into the economy, which is essentially
Hello, sir.
a waste. Okay. The one thing I wanted to say about unemployment is when you have...
Look at that statue right there, sir. That's a weird statue.
Oh.
What do you think they're doing?
I don't know.
I have no
what are they
idea.
doing, you
All right,
think?
Let's get
All
back.
right,
All right,
we're
off
back.
topic.
So when you don't have as many people working, you've got less cash flow going into the economy. And so basically, the less cash flow there is, the smaller our economy gets,
There.
less revenue.
See, if we had more workers, they could have been cleaning this right now because Pence almost slipped on that and fell.
Yeah, that was
could have
not-
been a lawsuit.
That was not fun. We could sue.
guess
Let's just sue them right now.
Yeah, we can sue us, the government.
Let's.
We can sue
Alright.
ourselves.
All right.
I have enough money. Look at
Next
this.
topic I want to bring up,
Okay,
something called labor productivity.
that's a good one.
And we want to keep in mind the factors that we incorporate into what makes us produce more. Like if we have more resources or something like that. Is there anything you want to do to make more resources available to the U.S.?
I want to do everything in my power and in our power as a cabinet to produce more jobs, to fix the unemployment that we just recently talked about, and so that we can produce more of everything, to produce more labor for the United States of America. How are you doing, ma'am? See you looking at me. Donald J. Trump here.
All right. Next thing I got on the agenda, something we like to call inflation. All right. And basically, inflation is just when the value of the dollar will go up and down depending on if people are, working hard or if the more jobs that are in circulation.
And with the value of the dollar going down, the prices of just all the goods and services are just continuing to rising. So it's not good, really. It's really not good. It's just the value of the currency keeps going down. It's a huge imbalance between demand and supply of the money. It's horrible for the consumers. Very, very horrible for the consumers.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and agree with your answer there, Mr. Trump. And the last thing we have on the list today.
Oh, but I just.
Okay. What you got?
Bringing me off the topic is inflation level is good. Like I think it's like a 2 or a 3% inflation level is actually good for the economy.
What are we at right? Do you know where we're at right now?
I'm just so focused building a wall
Okay.
that
To keep the immigrants out.
keep them out. And if they decide to fly over, we can build AA turrets, like Lego Star Wars the game. We can just build them up, shoot them right in the sky, some GTA 5 stuff. And if they're underground, we can build sensors and get the mole rats from the Billy and Mandy Adventures, a TV show.
Yeah.
They have those mole rats.
Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Cartoon
We
Network.
can have them, and they can help keep out the illegal immigrants that are underground. All right, so are we going to the next topic, sir?
Actually, Trump, you forgot about inflation.
Excuse me?
You forgot about inflation.
I did what?
You forgot about inflation.
One more time?
Inflation.
Oh, I forgot something.
Yeah,
Me.
you.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and tell us,
I'm gonna try to.
mister?
Mister?
I'll take the camera.
Okay. Well,
Let me sit down and get our music.
okay, so
Go ahead and explain everything about inflation that I did not cover.
well, it's when basic day-to-day items become too much money. Like
He thinks he's better than me.
For example, for our bottle of Monster, it costs $3. For them, it's $110. Did you know that?
I didn't.
It's because
You see that guy over there?
rates of inflation are different.
A-hole.
That's a great point because the rates of inflation
Are different on each country's income.
because like in the UK it's what is it like 1.5 times US
Yeah.
dollars or something.
I do believe that's somewhere
So
true.
because it's different economies, depending on the way it's handled and the way it's run, it can be the rates of inflation are different. So the last thing I want to talk about is something called aggregate demand and aggregate supply.
You don't know what that is.
I do.
That's
know
why
it.
I'm the vice president. You don't know shit.
All right.
Yeah, you're just a general. I mean, you're good and all, but you just know how to kill. No offense to you,
Right,
sir.
Try to explain to me what those big
So
words meant.
basically, aggregate demand is we have a gross domestic product, right? And there's a graph that shows basically how much of that GDP is demanded based on things like unemployment and inflation, and if our money is worth more, then we can demand more. So that's basically aggregate demand, and that consists of a whole bunch of things like consumer spending, investment spending, and government spending like building roads and funding certain. And then aggregate supply, it's basically a curve showing the relationship between a nation's price level and the actual GDP that we produce. So that basically means that
This is supposed to be flawless. How are we supposed to give it to our home dog? Melvin. I forgot his name.
Who's Mr. Melvin, Pence?
Oh my god. He's a very mean economics teacher.
Meaner than me?
Meaner than you.
Wow, that's.
He believes.
I have to meet this Mr. Melvin. You're
basically when we
Talking
have
about?
a decrease in the gross domestic output, that would essentially, if we're producing less, would that mean we have more unemployment because there are less people, right?
If we're producing more,
If we're producing less,
if we're producing less,
we
then
have
yes.
less people, right?
We have
okay.
less things to.
And so the price, and if we
doesn't always mean we have less people, but like there's less things to produce.
So unemployment means we produce less, and if people are unemployed, they're going to have less money, right? Right. So, and if people have less money, then the price level is going to go down because people aren't going to want to buy things because they won't have the money to. And if we have more people employed, then they'll be making more money, and then we can increase the price level, and that's the correlation. It's kind of like there's a middleman between that, the correlation between gross domestic product and price level. It has to do with unemployment and inflation in a sense. That basically covers it for me.
Wow. Nice.
So, talking onto all these subjects, how does China compare to the U.S. with all of these subjects? Since you were to select, I selected both of you for a reason. I just want to know your opinions on China.
I think China, they're
setting up their economy.
Let's go ahead and
better than
hear.
ours.
Really?
are they really
Yeah, they dumped
think
like
so?
300 billion into their currency to make it worldwide.
into their currency? What do you mean?
Into they're investing like 300 billion into their own currency.
How do you invest into your own currency?
Dump the money back. I don't know. That's a good question.
Aren't there, they
How
take
do you
money
invest
and put it into their economy?
So what do you already? If you
China-
have 300 billion and you
You invest it back into things that produce money, is what you're saying.
yeah.
Into their own domestic products. Okay. So that makes
So-
China's always been a big producer for us. We outsource a lot of jobs to China, but Donald here wants to make America great again, i.e. we produce more
America
things here,
great.
and we can make more money here for domestic use.
Although we should leave factories in China.
All right, well,
That's why he's the VP and you're not, sir.
You're
I'm gonna about wrap it up for us.
against
On,
factories in China.
No, I'm not. Not anymore.
as I was saying, that's gonna wrap it up for us on Trump.
But one more, because we were talking about this Mr. Melvin figure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and since he's yeah, seriously,
Is it still recording?
What were you saying?
it is still recording, Mr. Pence. You're kind of slow at this. So
What was the last comment? What was the last
so
comment?
Mr. Melvin, you guys said he was mean. Really mean.
He actually has a salt shaker on the top of it.
He does.
I don't
He's a
really think
salty
he's that
man.
salty though. People just talk in his mouth.
I'm glad you guys feel it's right. So
I did like the ultimate call out right now.
We can cut that. We can cut without what I'm doing right now.
we're not gonna cut that. How does Mr. Melvin feel about the wall that I am going to produce?
I know the most about Mr. Melvin. He's thinking that the wall is the best idea in the world. And
He seems like
that
a
he should
very
just
smart man.
Give kids A's and stop making these projects so useless for economics.
He should make. That sounds like a really good teacher.
They're not useless.
They're useless. They're things we could do in class. We could talk about this in class.
All right, let's end it there before we get on a hot streak.